Trust you're having a good afternoon on this Friday, the 28th of June. Many thanks for joining us on K24 Newscut for a comprehensive look at news making headlines across the country and beyond. My name is Michelle Ngele Odhiambo. Walter Asewe is the sign language interpreter. Here's a look at the top stories this hour. Death toll from the anti-government protests rises as gunshots, tear gas and running battles characterize the events in Ongata Rongai town last evening during anti-government protests. The media fraternity mourns the death of veteran journalist Mutegi Njau.
Since you took office, the price of essentials has increased.
President Joe Biden struggles to articulate his points at several moments as he squares off with Donald Trump in the first debate of the 2024 United States presidential race. Good afternoon and welcome to the broadcast. Veteran journalist Mutegi Njau has died. His family says that Mutegi died peacefully on Thursday evening at around 7 p.m. Mutegi, who mentored many journalists, past and present, was known for his attention to detail and mastery of the trade. His illustrious media career spanned decades after his journey in media began in 1979 from the days of Kenya's founding president, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta. Meanwhile, the opposition Azimio coalition will today pay a visit to the Kenyatta National Hospital to assess the status of the victims of police brutality following the recent anti-tax protests, where confrontations were marred by live bullets and tear gas before and after members of parliament passed and approved the controversial finance bill of 2024. Tens of protesters have since lost their lives in the protest, while scores others sustained injuries, including bullet wounds during the clashes. Let's listen in to the Azimio members of parliament and leaders speaking earlier today.
Pande huko ambassador near the archives, National Archives, mmoja kule. Mwingine alipatikana karibu na GPO, obviously by a stray bullet, and he was very humorous. He told me that this was the first time he was participating in these demonstrations. And he was just watching to see what's going on, and then he was caught. So he said, first time unlucky. But he's alive. We've received reports today from the leadership of the hospital, and we want to thank Dr. Munene, Dr. Kutoi, and the administration of this hospital for receiving and treating scores and many Kenyans. We received a report that over 200 people were brought in. Unfortunately, 2 of them were dead on arrival and 3 died while receiving treatment. And that is one wing that we visited. So you can see, you can begin to imagine the trauma, the suffering by the Kenyan people and this nation. As we speak, we have a nation that is deeply troubled, deeply insecure. I don't think there's any Kenyan who is feeling happy today. I don't even think William Ruto himself is feeling happy because of the shock if he was. Because as a parent, how does he wake up every morning and imagine what happened? And yet, not a word since the happenings on Tuesday from the so-called government spokesperson, not a word from Inspector General of Kenya Police, or the commandant here, the infamous Bungei. I'm speaking after the president of the Law Society, Pedro Diambo, and I don't know what she told you. But in my view, as senior counsel, we're going to document every case, perhaps even revisit the International Criminal Court, and this time talk to them about the atrocities committed against the Kenyan people by a regime which is heartless, which calls his own citizens traitors, they're committing treasonous, treasonous acts. And we are yet to be told who are the financiers of this very organic youth movement, organic in their thousands, and they just want to claim their country back. Abductions seem to be continuing. I have here a letter that was written by the CEO of the and Director Chief Executive of the Kenya School of Law, Mr. Henry Mutai, when he issued this press release about the leader, Joshua Okayo, of the students doing their pupillage, doing their postgraduate course at the Kenya School of Law. He was abducted, but happily he's alive, because this morning the student was found in Murang'a, hungry, very hungry, by a river bank. You can see that style of abducting student leaders, of terrorizing them, perhaps trying to indoctrinate them. This is not the country our forefathers fought for. And I want to look at William Ruto in the face, I hope he's looking at me, and tell him to rise above himself.
That is Azimio Co-Principal Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka while visiting protest victims at the Kenyatta National Hospital, referring also to cases of abductions and disappearances in the country. We have a section of Azimio members of parliament who are currently making their way to the DCI headquarters here in Nairobi to report the disappearance of protesters in the anti-tax protests. We'll be bringing you live details of that as well. Meanwhile, normalcy has resumed in Ongata Rongai town after gunshots, tear gas and running battles characterized last evening's events in the town, where several people, including a child, sustained serious injuries out of the violent police action during the anti-government protests that took place in various parts of the country. Several people are reported to have been shot, with 3 civilians, among them a child, reported dead.
Alikuwa ametoka mkutano na sisi. Ni sisi tulipenya tu tukaenda. Serikali nione huruma. Mtoto wangu ako na miaka 12. Serikali mnione huruma. Hata wewe nione tu huruma. Hata wewe kama ingekuwa mtoto wako, hata kama ingekuwa mjukuu wako, ako na bullet 8 hapa. Hapa imeyeyuka. Ana ngozi, hakuna kitu hapa. Nimeona leo saa hii ndio nimepata wamemlalisha. Mtoto wa 3. Niko na watoto 5, yeye ni wa 3. Yeye ni kijana. Nikapata hapa yote. Mpaka huku nyuma hakuna ngozi, imeenda kabisa. Serikali wanisaidie mtoto wangu apate haki yake. Hakuenda maandamano miaka hivi 12. Hajatosa hata ajui maandamano ni nini. Hata Kiswahili ajui vizuri. Alitoka nyumbani last year.
Kama wanaharakati tusiambiwe ya kwamba kwa community lazima maandamano ikue. Ndio maana kwa katiba kuna kipengee ambayo ina support peaceful demonstration. Hiyo demonstration ilikuwa na barua, ndio hii hapa. Na hii barua ilikuwa inasema ya kwamba tunaanza saa ngapi? Saa 6 mpaka saa 11. Iko received, meaning ya kwamba it was within the constitutional framework. So tusiseme ya kwamba kuandamana ni baya, na tuseme ya kwamba vijana kutumania hired people ambao wanakuja wana cause havoc ndio ni makosa.
Let's take you to Embu County now, where gender champions in the county have condemned the violence witnessed across different parts of the country towards elected leaders who supported the passing of the Finance Bill of 2024, including Embu Governor Cecily Mbarire, whose office was set on fire last week. Embu County Uraia Trust Coordinator Peter Gitonga says the targeted attacks on the office of the governor not only threaten the stability of Embu County, but also pose a significant setback for women's empowerment.
Kulingana na katiba ya nchi ya Kenya ambao tulipitisha mwaka wa 2010 katika article 1 na katika article 10 na pia article 25 na article 37, watu wako na uhuru wa kuweza kuandamana kulingana na mujibu wa sheria zetu za Kenya. Na kwa hivyo tunasema ya kwamba vijana wale waliweza kujitokeza siku ya jana katika nchi mzima kwa ujumla walifanya kazi mzuri. Walakini tunataka kusimama kidete na kukasifu yale mambo ambayo yaliweza kutokea, uharibifu ya mali ya umma na pia ya mali ya serikali. Kwa sababu ukiangalia katika kaunti ya Embu kulikuwa na uharibifu ambao ulikuwa hali ya juu sana. Na maandamano ilikuwa imeanza ilikuwa sawa hadi mwendo wa saa 8. Lakini kupitia hapo wale waandamanaji, kuna watu wengine ambao walikuwa ni wahalifu, walikuwa na nia mbaya ambao hata hawakuelewa kunafanywa maandamano kwa nini.
We come out as a community gender champions to condemn any form of violence from the actors involved in the protest and demonstrations, including the National Police Service. It needs to be understood that violence negates the very essence of peaceful assembly that affects the essential service delivery to the citizens of Embu County and Kenya at large. As we witnessed yesterday and in the previous years, violence leads to instability in our community. The incidences targeting the office of the governor and other administrative offices in the county is particularly concerning and counterproductive. Such actions threaten the gains on general development, education, healthcare, and general service delivery.
Meanwhile, Kakamega Governor Fernandez Baraza has waived hospital bills and covered funeral expenses for those affected by the demonstrations in Kakamega County. Expressing his condolences to the affected families, Governor Baraza condemned the excessive use of force by security officials, particularly the use of live bullets on young demonstrators. Baraza urged the Gen Z to engage in peaceful protests. Earlier today, the youth in Kakamega held demos in the town, marching to Kakamega Morgue, where bodies are being preserved while prayers were held for the departed souls.
Na siku hiyo tulipoteza watu wawili, mama mboga mmoja anaitwa Caroline Shiramba anatoka Ikolomani, na pia kuna kijana Regan huko anatoka Kisumu. Na nachukua fursa hii kuambia pole familia na marafiki wa wale ndugu ambao tuliwapoteza katika ile maandamano ya amani ya siku ya Jumanne. Na kama county pia tulikuwa na vitu ambazo ziliharibiwa, ofisi zetu zilivunjwa, magari pia yalivunjwa, karibu magari 18. Na mimi kama gavana wa jimbo hili, kwanza kabisa ningependa kulani wale polisi ambao walitumia nguvu, azwa risasi, kwa sababu wale ambao walikuwa wanaandamana ni haki yao kikatiba. Na ningependa pia kuomba vijana wetu wa Gen Zs, tukiwa na maandamano ambayo ni haki yao, wasiwe wakileta maandamano ya fujo, kwa sababu mkileta fujo mtakuwa unaharibu mali na pia kupatia wale ambao hawana nia nzuri kupora wanabiashara, ambapo kulikuwa na uharibifu mingi sana.
The police officers came to intimidate us, they came to torment us, and we will not accept that to happen again. Gen Z power. Gen Z power. So we want to tell the president whether he like it or not.
Waliweza kufikiria tuko maandamano lakini hatukuwa maandamano. Tulikuwa tunaenda tuone baadhi ya wenzetu ambao waliweza kufariki. Kuweza kufika pale haikuweza kuwa vizuri, tuliweza kutatizwa na polisi.
Tulikuwa tunashughulika kwenda general kuona wenzetu pale hivyo wenye wameumia jana. Kuna madamu amepigwa tu risasi bure. Kuna wenzetu wameumia, sasa tumekuwa pale kwenda kuwashughulikia kuona tuko tunaandamana kiubaya sisi.
K24 Chache North Member of Parliament Japheth Nyakundi, who is among the legislators who voted in favor of the Finance Bill of 2024, has vowed to listen to the public's views regarding matters of development. Speaking at Marani Sub-County, Nyakundi urged residents to exercise tolerance and engage in dialogue with relevant authorities in order to achieve the government's agenda.
Endelea na kazi yetu ya kuhakikisha wananchi wameweza kupata maendeleo, na tutahakikisha ya kwamba wananchi they live in a comfortable way. Tunajua ile maneno ya mswada ambayo ilikuwa kule bungeni na sisi tukaipitisha kama watu ambao walichaguliwa na chama cha serikali, lakini rais akasema the country is bigger than all of us. Kwa hivyo jana ule mswada wa finance bill tuliweka kando, tukasema wacha tukae chini, haswa na wale vijana ambao wanajiita Gen Z, Generation Z. Tutakaa chini na wao tuwasikize, kwa sababu hao ni watoto wetu, ni ndugu zetu, ni dada zetu. Na rais alisema hivi jana, we must listen to what Kenyans are saying. And that is the reason we decided to drop down on the finance bill 2024. Kwa hivyo tutakaa na wale vijana, tusikie shida zao, na kama shida zao ni za kweli, tutaweza kutekeleza, kwa sababu hao ndio ambao walituchagua na hao ndio.
That report brings us to a break on K24 News. Cut much more making headlines on the other side. Do stay with us.
Have you watched K24? We would love to hear from you. Send us your feedback on what you like and what you don't like and why. You can use any platform to reach us. We can be reached on Facebook, SMS, Twitter and WhatsApp. Your Saturday morning won't be the same again.
Launch sequence activated.
Have a nice trip.